Today, we are talking about the career readiness curriculum in the University Foreign Language Program, and we are using USC Chinese program as an example. My name is Yi-Hsien Liao. I'm presenting with my colleague Xiang Jian, Yu and Xiao Liao. Next. So why career readiness curriculum? Most students learn language because they want to use it in a multilingual or multinational company at home or overseas after they graduate. Very few students want to learn language because they want to pursue graduate study for humanities. And you might ask, why not use language for specific courses for career focus? Then that's because language for specific courses have a lot of challenges. First of all, it's really hard to staff LSP courses, and there is a lack of appropriate textbook. And the status of language for specific courses are usually really marginalized. There are no coherent course series to prepare students for LSP courses. And there is a lack of resources and no enrollment number to support offering a series of LSP courses. So instead of having separate LSP track courses, our approach is to integrate career readiness component into the existing curriculum, starting from Chinese 1. And many activity in our current language classroom actually only need a small twist to make it career-oriented. Schools are a miniature society and are hierarchical in the sense that there are different people students need to talk to and communicate with in order to be successful in their 4 years of college life. So in our novice and intermediate curriculum, we utilize the school environment to train students. In the intermediate, high, and above levels, students go beyond to the school setting and work with communities to practice the career readiness skills. Next. Now I want to talk about an important source that kind of inspired this presentation is Dr. Lear's Integrating Career Preparation into Language Courses. In this book, Dr. Lear talked about 5 different areas of development, and they are gatekeeping. So basically the ability to take down important information, very basic one like names, emails, phone numbers, and troubleshoot, such as passing a Chinese customer to a colleague more proficient in Chinese. Correspondence, number 2, is to write proper subject line in emails and how to email your peers, your colleagues, to the professor or to a supervisor, and write down bullet points, write an agenda. Number 3, networking is to know the names of your clients or your classmates or somebody you get to meet, and actually the strategy to ask for names if you forget it after the first encounter. Number 4 is presentation, is to how to report back group activity. We can start this very beginning from Chinese 1, how to give concise but interactive presentation. Number 5 is digital literacy. And basic literacy is a minimal requirement for college graduate nowadays, and especially because of AI nowadays. So how do we kind of put all these components into our curriculum and make students like really familiar with this type of, with the digital platforms? And in a USC Chinese program, we also emphasize cultural awareness and intercultural competence. Click, please. The cultural awareness and intercultural competence. So, okay, next slide. So how do we prepare our students for this kind of career readiness curriculum? We think it's very essential that students were introduced the actual workplace learning outcomes. So for example, like the student need to know where they are right now and what's the corresponding professions there are for their current skill level and the goal for the end of the class. They can only achieve the learning outcome and the goal when they know where they are going. Next slide. And a quick overview of our curriculum here. So you can see on the left column, we separate novice, intermediate, advanced, and LSP track based on the number of hours of instruction. And there are the 6 area of development. So for the cell that has 2 stars, that means we put special focus in that particular level. So for example, in the novice level, we really focus on gatekeeping. In intermediate level, we'll focus on gatekeeping, correspondence. Advanced level, we focus on correspondence, networking, presentation. And LSP track, we do pretty much focus on everything and then kind of zoom in on the particular a student's particular interest. Next slide. So let's talk about novice level. So the novice level, really, we focus on something really short, very basic. But even when it's basic, they still need to have the troubleshooting skills. And they need to develop basic reading and writing skill and with very fixed language structure and format. Next slide. In the intermediate level, student kind of learn more stuff and tailor to the office setting and professional setting. And they can deal with very straightforward work-related situation, and again, with very fixed language structure. Next. In the advanced level, students need to be able to deal with more complicated professional tasks, and they need to be able to interact with people and native speakers with various educational background or specific areas. They need to develop analytical researching skill and troubleshooting skill. Next. And going up to our LSP track, this part is where we really zoom into students' comprehensive understanding of the business and macroeconomic developments and their connection with working professional, and finally to analyze contemporary industry trend in their area of focus. I'm going to pass this to my colleague.
Hi, my name is Ichigo. So corresponds to our curriculum. Now I'm going to introduce how to start from novice level and how to help students to build out their foundation. So next slide, please. So in this level, we hope students can learn the 3 practical communicative skills from few activities. So first skill is to write email to his teacher. So for example, very basic communication, arrange a meeting with the teacher or change a meeting time, ask a question, or request leave from a teacher and provide reasons. And second is initiate the response of phone call or email. For example, like to your supervisor in the office, report a problem and find a solution to the problem. Or answering the phone call, check emails when someone are not available. And the third is taking down the key information in the phone call for your colleague or supervisor if they are not available. Okay, next please. And the third skill is to write an email to your language exchanging partner. So like to your client in your first email. So you need to make a brief greeting and introduce yourself and exchanging the basic contact information and schedule a meeting time. Okay, so next please. So for our curriculum for Chinese 1, so I give you some like a simple test what we do in class. First is write an email to in Chinese to someone you know. So in this level, students are beginner, so they learn the pinyin character from very basic. So basically is write down what you can say. Okay, so the point for this level is learn the email format. So for example, you can see that I give a student the structure, like a begin and end, how to begin your email or end the email with appropriate tone. And the content that you can say, talk about the school life, talk about friends, roommates, and ask few questions. So some of it's like we give your house a structure, a student just fill in the content what they can say. Okay, next please. So for the Chinese 2 course, we hope students can develop how to write an email to their teacher. So it's not just the develop basic communication, but also develop troubleshooting skills. So for example, like here, I'll tell your teacher, I'm sick, I won't be at school, and what should I do? So at the beginning, well, we give a structure, beginning, just briefly greeting and tell teacher you cannot come to class and provide reason. And then tell your teacher, okay, how do you feel right now? And at the end, what is the plan about the class and homework? So how do you want the teacher to help you? So that is for the Chinese 2 course. Okay, next please. And for the Chinese 3, so we're going to develop the furthermore skill is like initiate and respond to phone call or email. So it's very common situation. You rent a house, apartment, you have something wrong with your apartment. So you need to figure out how to resolve the problem. So the same, give a structure, begin, explain why do you call, why do you email, and the content explain what happened, what's the problem, and end, how do you want the landlord to help you. So and next please. But sometimes your landlord maybe is not available. So how do you resolve the problem? So it's a role played in class. One student is the landlord or manager office, and one student is a tenant. So you need to introduce yourself and tell the purpose you call, leave a message, and contact information. Another one just taking a note from the phone call or email to pass to the person who is taking in charge of this. Okay, thank you. Next, please. So I would like to provide some of the students' outcome to see they really use this skill, what they learned in the real life. Like here, student write an email about I couldn't go to class today because I have a meeting or I'm sick. So they give me the another provided time is that they provide can I go to your office afternoon or later? So let's focus on it's essential to see their format, email format. So you can see their format is very formal because it's to the teacher. So in the future, we hope they can use this format to their client or the supervisor in the business. Thank you. For the next, please. And this one is students, it's a communication between the teacher and the students. I wrote the email to students like because when I'm sorry when you come to my office today, there's another student talking to me. So isn't it possible we can schedule another time to meet? And the right side you can see students reply. He said, oh, that's okay. Can I go to your office next week? So let's focus. Let's see their emails mix English and Chinese sentence. This is very essential and a common phenomenon for the beginning level. So usually what I do is like I will reply the email and rewrite their word in Chinese. It's not what you mean or you say so little student can learn by themselves, and also I provide my answer for them. Yeah, so that is very practical communicative skill for students in the novice level. Okay, so I'm going to pass on this to intermediate level. Angela.
Hello, I'm Xiao Liao, and I will talk about what intermediate students will be learning. These students have 118 to 360 hours of Chinese instruction. The course will focus on develop skills for professional settings. They will also create documents with specific language structure and formats. And we also want them to expand their network by interacting not only on campus, but also in the community and other professional settings with native Chinese speakers. So we aim to bridge the gap between the academic knowledge and real world application. First, we introduce the language exchange project. Students are required to initiate contact with their Chinese language partners at the School of International Chinese Language Education at Beijing Normal University. The tasks involves sending an introductory email followed by scheduling weekly language exchange sessions. During these sessions, students are expected to discuss weekly topics that focus on exploring cultural differences. The topics encompass a wide range, including education, majors, and travel experiences. Next is a task involve conducting a survey on money-related topics among college students. So students will select a specific aspect such as expenditure patterns, sources of funding for education, or perspective on part-time employment during college or graduate school. These are the instructions on Padlet to guide students through the task step by step. Some activities will be completed in class while others will be assigned at home. Each group will formulate relevant questions, define the target participant, distribute the survey, analyze the result, and present their findings to the class. These are some student presentations in which they elaborate their findings. Next, I'll pass the presentation to my colleague Xiang.
Okay, so now I'm going to talk about in the advanced level, how do we train our students to achieve this career readiness curriculum goal? Next, please. I'm gonna use three sample tasks to talk about these topics. The first one is a general specific text imitation. So in this task, we ask students to write, to speak, discuss, or do peer reading. The purpose is to enhance students' awareness of the cultural and contextual nuances. In this activity, students need to analyze, mimic writing, and use, for example, use the rhetorical devices based on different topics and different tasks. And they need to practice through the creative writing. And next slide, please. So the first example is students were asked to describe a public event. So we believe that even the history or the event is different, but the language is the same. So the original text, it's an event, very famous event happened in 1990, May 4th. So it's called a May 4th movement. Students learn how and when and what happened in that event. So they were asked to use the Chinese to describe it. And also in 2012, there's a social justice event happening in the United States. So I used that as an example. So students were asked to use to copy and mimic the original text to create a new one. So the second section of the students' construction is below is the example that is the evidence that indicates that they are able to use the original text to create a new one. And next, please. And the second example of the style imitation, the task is to describe a person. And the original text, the English translation is like this person is from a Zhejiang province, and this person is generous and hardy in character. However, after we learn this text, students mimic this text. We can see student one wrote a single sentence, and then from English, it says this person is from Ohio and has a mischievous and stingy personality. And even he is tall, but with clumsy hands and feet, and he is unable to play basketball. And the pink color indicates this is evidence that these students learned from the very first lesson we learned in the first month, and then that one is written by a great writer in 1990s. And then we can see that students are able to create using the new text and also combine the old one to create the new one. And the tone is kind of like a humorous tone. And the student 4, and this person is writing, describing Napoleon, and the English translation is like Napoleon is a French person, and very short and patriotic. However, he fought in 2 wars and lost both times. So we can also see this student is creating a new one with a humorous tone. And then we ask students to be able to improve understanding of the authentic expressions, and also to enhance the use of appropriate register, like the formal, informal registers, and also they need to develop clarity and coherence in communication. Next slide, please. Next task is we ask students to write opinion editorial essay. So this is a formal writing training. So in this task, students need to have a clear and compelling main argument. They need to provide a specific perspective. They need to support their opinions by using clear evidence, for example, the data. And also they need to keep it short, concise, to be relevant. Next slide. For example, this is a gun issue topic happening in the United States. We can see from this student's work from the red text box, and the four red text box indicates the student's logic. It means like first, second, third, and last. And also from the pink box in the middle, we can see these students used a lot of data from different resources, like a magazine from Lancet, and then he used this one to support his opinions. And next slide, please. And then this is another example from a different topic. It's like the topic is to how to solve educational inequity in China. So these students also, we can see the red boxes. These students use lots of different logics, like first, second, third, and last. And also this students is talking about how to create solutions to help to resolve China's educational inequity issue. So students were able to analyze and understand the different texts. They should be able to use reference materials to comprehend the different concepts and contexts. And also lastly, they should be able to employ critical thinking. They need to integrate learned knowledge and apply diverse perspectives for troubleshooting. Next slide, please. The last task is the AM 1300 online talk show. So AM 1300, it's a media company, and this media company is the largest Chinese language-based radio station in the Southern California area. So in this talk show, we ask students to talk with the host from this radio station, and then they will have a conversation, like a 1 hour online conversation. Students were asked to talk to express their opinions based on different topics. For example, in this task, students need to provide background information for that topic. And also they need to explain the key terms. They need to present their arguments or analytical perspectives on the topic. Also, students were asked to answer and ask questions to or from different people or audience. And also they need to interact with the host, such as to respond the host's questions or to ask for repetitions or explanation when they're not able to understand the host talking. So in this task, students were trained to converse with individuals from various educational backgrounds and or they're from specific areas. So that's my section for advanced level. Now I'm going to pass to the LSP track.
Hello, I'm Xiao Liao, and I will talk about some activities for language for specific purpose courses, such as Business Chinese and Chinese internship courses. In these courses, students connect with working professionals and apply what they learned in the real life situation. For courses tailored for specific purposes, we have engaged guest speakers from academia, industry, and government officials based on students' needs. Following the talks, students actively interacted with the speakers, and some even established connections with them. And here are the speakers we have invited in the past few semesters. We also organize workshops led by specialists who are native Chinese speakers sourced from the career center or industry. These sessions aim to help students create Chinese resume, refine their self-introduction skills for interviews, and engage in mock interview exercises. This image is a simple Chinese resume created by a student. For the Business Chinese class, students are required to report current news of their interest. They choose current topic or news item and share their video presentation on Padlet. This is followed by asynchronous written discussions. Next, the students who is responsible for posting the news will need to report, will need to lead the class discussion. These texts aim to train students in effectively communicating their interests and areas of expertise. In the Chinese internship course, students are required to apply for internship in multiple companies, conduct informational interviews or coffee chat, and dedicate 8 to 10 hours per week to work for the selected companies. This process of engaging with working professionals is designed to enhance students' skills in establishing meaningful connections through effective networking strategies. Students are also expected to describe a business and companies they're involved with, articulate their internship responsibilities, and analyze contemporary industrial trends. On the right side of this slide are the companies where your students have interned over the past 2 years. So this concludes our presentation on career readiness curriculum. Thank you for listening.